is Shaq gets no lift, and that's the one thing the Lakers are concerned about with that tendonitis.
Yeah, they really are. And not only are they concerned, this is game 2 in the playoffs. You know, it'd be one thing if this was game 2 in the finals. This is the first round, and he has tendonitis. Major concern for the Lakers.
Major concern for the Lakers has got to be Charles Barkley. Here is a guy who devours them down low on the block, and then he's such an adroit passer that he kills you that way as well.
And if you look in game 1, he did a little bit of everything, and that's what concerns the Lakers. You know, they understand. They're going to let him score. You know, they want to make it tough on him, but they don't want him to get Dickerson, Mobley, and Pippen involved. They say Charles Barkley score 50, we'll still win the game.
Scottie Pippen with the 5 turnovers in game 1. Somewhat of a surprise when he always has turned up his game a notch in the playoffs.
Yeah, and not only surprise offensively, I think more surprise is defensively that Rice beat him several times off the dribble. That's something that Rudy Tomjanovich and the Rockets didn't expect.
All-star crew tonight, Joey Crawford, Bob Delaney, and Bill Spooner. It is filled to the brim here at the Great Western Forum. This is the last time that they will play playoffs in this building. They go to the brand new Staples Center in downtown Los Angeles after this year. And the opening tap goes to the Rockets. A crushing defeat is how Barkley described game 1. Michael Dickerson, who had a very solid first playoff game, and the rebound is lassoed by Reed.
And so you're wondering right now, first play out of the block, you go to a rookie. Reason being they want Glenn Rice to play a little bit more defense, and they want to get these rookies involved in the game early. Get them involved early, they'll be involved late.
Shaq against Hakeem outside. Fisher coming off a 20-point performance. Slashes inside, lost it. O'Neal is there and slams it in.
Derek Fisher is the chosen one, meaning he will get every shot because that's no mistake that he was wide open. That's what the Rockets want. They don't believe that he can score 22 points again.
Barkley down in the block. Single coverage with Reed. And he does a nice job in altering the shot, bumping Barkley and Kobe the other way. Fires it inside. Over Elijah, and there's a whistle and a foul on Hakeem.
And nice job by the Lakers. This is something they didn't do early in the year, something that O'Neal complained about. He runs the court, but they didn't find him. That's the second time early they found him. O'Neal runs the floor, gets great position, foul already on Elijah. They want to keep Elijah out of foul trouble, but it's tough when you have a big guy like Shaquille O'Neal running down the middle.
Rice to Reed, picked up by Barkley, and down low to Shaq, doubled. And this is now the first option in this offense as Reed goes up for 2.
You know, nice job by J.R. Reed sealing off. He understood there was a point guard trying to guard him underneath. He didn't clear out. He stood there, almost made Shaquille O'Neal throw the ball in.
Pippen inside, flying to the rack, and a foul called on J.R. Reed of the Lakers.
You know, watch this. Now, watch Reed throw the ball, and he's going to go down. He notices there's a point guard guarding me. I'm just going to seal, get position, and get it up. Nice job. And great recognition by Shaquille O'Neal. You know, everyone talks about his power and how strong he is.
Right.
Very few people talk about how well he can pass the basketball, and he does a nice job.
And, Doc, the thing is, as we've talked about on these broadcasts many times, he is now a thinking man on the floor and works extremely hard in the offseason.
Well, I think he has to be. Several reasons. Because he's the guy who everyone zeroes in on every game. And also, he's one of the older guys on this young basketball team.
And I thought people, when he came in, said he'll never be a student of the game. But he's been just the opposite.
Yeah, I think he's fooled a lot of people with that.
Lakers on top by 3, and here comes Fisher working on the rookie Mobley. Bryant and Dickerson, the screen by O'Neal, and the pass to Shaq. Back into Kobe. What a great two-man game they played there.
And they're getting everything they want. You know, these two teams now mirror each other offensively. The Rockets go to Charles Barkley, and the Lakers go to O'Neal, and they play off of each other.
Elijah missing over the backboard and out of bounds.
I mean, Shaq and Kobe, for about the last 6 games, have really been playing off each other very well. You can see pass, give and go, cut. Kobe Bryant gets the dunk. That's just nice passing.
And about 2 weeks ago, they were at the biggest odds they have been at. They came back to Los Angeles after a loss, ironically enough, in Houston, mended their ways, met with Jerry West, and everything has been smooth sailing since. It's Bryant again, missing everything there, picked up by Hakeem, and Pippen the other way. Houston 0 of 3 to begin the game. Elijah. Back to Mobley. Shaq called Olajuwon the best center the game has ever seen. And over Shaq he hits.
See, that's something that Rudy Tomjanovich wants to take advantage of more also. You know, in the game one, Olajuwon was in foul trouble a lot, so he really couldn't do that, though he still had a nice game.
Foul called on Dickerson, the rookie from Arizona, a guy who took that team to the Final Four a couple of years ago down in Tucson. Rudy Tomjanovich. And the Rockets have started 1 of 4, but he wasn't concerned. In fact, he was very happy with their game 1 performance.
Yeah, you know, talking to him, he said, we did everything right except for win the basketball game. And he said, unfortunately, that's the most important part of it.
9.5 to play. We are in the first quarter. 75% shooting for the Lakers. Reed missing there on the fadeaway, and the rebound vacuumed up by Hakeem. Dickerson sliding inside on Rice. And Rice chases down the loose ball, and here comes Reed the other way. Lakers on top by 3.
You can see the Rockets really want to push the ball up court and get into their offense quickly.
Back to Shaq, doubled on the block. Outside, Kobe catches. And the pass as he had indecision in mid-flight. Back to Fisher. Shot clock at 4. Fisher on the fly. Rebounded by Barkley.
How about that? Kobe Bryant had a wide-open shot and was looking to pass. That's too much passing.
Pippen passes to Dickerson, whose heel was out of bounds, and they turn it over.
I mean, it's funny when you look at that last pass by Kobe Bryant and you're thinking bad pass. But look at the assists of late. Over the last 4 games, they have really been moving the ball. And doing that meeting that everyone knows about, that's what they talked about. We have to be unselfish and just play the game. And not worry about who's getting off or who's getting touches. And I think that's why the Lakers are playing much better.
And during that streak, Kobe had a career-high 10-assist game. So he has bought into it, and the Lakers are winning because of it.
And he's the key guy because you really don't have to run an offense for Kobe Bryant because he can create offense for himself.
Reed with a dazzling array of moves, and Barkley gave him some room to go.
But the key here is, has Glenn Rice touched the ball? Yeah. I think the Rockets don't mind that at all.
Pippen tries to penetrate inside and is fouled as Rice was defending. And they put it on J.R. Reed, who picks up his second personal foul. Reed in the power forward position, truly under the microscope here. Of course, they needed so much help earlier in the season, they signed Dennis Rodman. So now they've got Reed, and they seem to have found some smooth sailing there.
Yeah, and it's interesting. The reason they wanted Dennis Rodman, you know, some defense, but more rebounding. Now they need defense. They just need a big body. You'll see Sean Brooks. You'll see Ori. You'll see all kinds of guys trying to guard Barkley tonight.
Here's Scottie Pippen, who is pointing fingers at his teammates in the locker room after game 1. Some of the teammates were surprised, the coaching staff stunned, but today we watched shoot-around, and there was no residual effect of those comments.
Yeah, and I don't think it was a big deal, really. You know, Charles Barkley also made the comment that, guys, you shouldn't turn the ball over. I think basically they were telling the truth.
What about Fisher drilling one from 3?
You know, we were talking to the Laker coaching staff, and, you know, they've read that Fisher will be the chosen one. They said, fine. Fisher has been playing great, has great confidence, and if they choose him to take shots, he'll hurt them.
Olajuwon dunking and contorting his body, and finally swerving in for 2. Still so many great moves at 36 years of age.
Yeah, I think from midseason on, he's gotten it back, and that's what makes the Rockets dangerous. Now you have 2 good, great low-post players.
Nice ball rotation by the Lakers. Almost a triangle-type offense here. Back out to Kobe, working on Mobley. And Kobe slashes across the lane. What a play.
See, the problem with Kobe Bryant is once you throw the ball out to him, then you have to guard him. And that's when it gets tough. Running at Kobe Bryant is impossible to stop him. He has great quickness and a great first step.
Lakers on top by 6 and a timeout. Approaching 7 minutes to play here in the first quarter. Rockets down by a 13-7 count. Olajuwon working on Shaq. By him, through him, and up and can't go as O'Neal grabs the loose ball.
You can see Olajuwon right now is feeling good.
Here's Ori. Down low, caught by Kobe with a shimmy and a shake, and the rebound brought down by Olajuwon. So now the Lakers with Rice, Fisher, Ori, Bryant, and Shaq. Mobley with the charge down low for the Rockets. As we send it over to Scott Hastings.
Guys, we saw that last move by Hakeem Olajuwon. I was talking with Shaq yesterday, and he said, you know, all the other big guys, you know what they're going to do. Pat's going to come in the middle. Lonzo's got this. Dikembe's got this. He says, what makes it so hard for me to guard Hakeem Olajuwon is he can do everything. He doesn't have one move. He's got them all.
Yeah, that's a good point. When you think about Jabbar, you think about the Scott Hook. Fisher. You think about Olajuwon, shimmy shake, and Fisher is rolling.
He is on a major roll right now.
I think he enjoys being the chosen one, huh?
And he's probably the least known of all these players on the Laker roster.
You know, Glenn Rice is thinking that he hopes someone chooses him so he can get some looks.
He's got his hand in the air. Mobley for three. Right down the middle. So Mobley hits that with the three, and the Rockets down by 5. Here's Ori to Shat, picked up by Hakeem, and Shaquille, who normally doesn't work as well off the right block, watches Ori tap that one up and in, but Ori comes up lane as you see him in the middle of your screen.
Looked like he was kneed in the calf or something, and obviously they need Ori in a big way.
Driving inside, they call the charge on Scottie Pippen.
You know, that was just bad spacing right there. Scottie Pippen is driving to the basket, and Charles Barkley cuts across the lane. That's why they run into each other. You can see Ori there limping.
Of course, he had some injuries early on in the season, but the one thing that really curtailed the beginning part of his season, the irregular heartbeat, thought to be caused by a viral infection. He missed 7 games, but came back, and he's played well since.
Yeah, and he does so many things. The one thing he does, he extends the D because he can shoot the three-point shot.
Bryant, the fake pass. What a pass. He goes to O'Neal. Over Hakeem. Rebounded by Olajuwon. What a pass by Bryant. The circus has truly come back to Los Angeles as Mobley, the rookie, and a second-round pick out of Rhode Island, saves it and gets it from Hakeem and slashes inside, loses it again, picked up by Ori. Houston's got 4 turnovers, the Lakers with none, and Ori over Barkley into Shaq.
And 2 fouls now on Olajuwon, and both times have been an early offense. Shaquille O'Neal running down the middle of the floor, established position, and nothing Olajuwon can do. I mean, when you get position like this, you're in trouble, especially if the guy you're guarding is Shaquille O'Neal.
And that's obvious. His mama used to take him to Gymboree. Look at that.
Wow, poor floor.
I'm holding up a 9 card right now.
Poor floor, that's all I have to say.
Olajuwon takes a seat on the Rocket bench with a couple of fouls. 3rd team foul. And here is Shaq at the free throw line. You know, Scott was talking before about the tendonitis in O'Neal's knee. He spent the summer working on his abdomen. He has missed more games over the last 3 years because of abdominal muscle problems.
And I did the same thing this summer. I worked on mine. I ate hot dogs and all kinds of things, and it really helped.
Yeah, your figure looks great. Here's Barkley down low. Ori, who is long and about the best option they've got, outside to Mobley. Stanley Roberts takes the place of Hakeem, and spinning is Pippen. Roberts, who had a dislocated shoulder, wears the heavy harness. Boy, a very ragged-looking offense by the Rockets. Roberts, who used to play for the Clippers, missing the hook. And here comes Fisher.
And you look at that last set by the Rockets. They had 5 guys all on the same side. Oh, my.
Fisher is a flamethrower.
See, he took that one. That had nothing to do with being the chosen one.
He is splashing shots from all over the floor. Lakers have their biggest lead.
He goes out, makes a trade, gets Glenn Rice, bring in Fisher, Tyrone Lue. I mean, he finds them over and over again. Even Kobe Bryant, you know, he made a big trade. Divac left so he can get a high school player in here.
Who he thinks is very special.
Yes, he does. He talked about him this morning. Loves him.
Here's Bryant now working on Pippen. Bryant specifically asked for that matchup. It rattles out for Scottie. In the paper, Bryant was quoted as saying, I wanted the matchup and I got the matchup. I want to defend it.
Now you're looking right here at 2 LSU players going up against each other. People forget that Stanley Roberts at times is thought of to be better than Shaquille O'Neal.
Well, Shaq just devoured Williams. Or Roberts inside. And here comes Dickerson finding Stanley Roberts, who played last year with the Minnesota Timberwolves. A little bit off there. Here comes Kobe as his eyes dart all over the floor, and he locates Rice, who throws inside to Shaq.
Go right back quick to position. A quick position again for Shaquille O'Neal. He likes that. I have one question. When will Charles Barkley get the ball on the post? Because that was the big advantage that the Rockets have, and they really haven't gone to it since the Lakers have made this run.
He's backing down there now, and a foul is called on Orr, a former Rocket. That is his first of the game.
And you can see Robert Horry right here trying to reach in. He's just trying to deflect the basketball because he understands size, no size, and the no size guy is him. And so he's just trying to do whatever he can to keep Barkley out of the paint.
In this case, size does matter.
In most cases.
Yes. Well said. Brooks will now check in, and he will be put on Roberts. O'Neal will take a seat on the bench, and the Lakers will go with Fisher, Rice, Horry, Rooks as their group on the floor. And a timeout has been taken. Olajuwon on the bench with 2 fouls. Here's Rockets down by 14. Rockets have not scored their last 5 trips down the floor. They've taken out Roberts. They've put in Antoine Carr for the first time. And on the block, they got Barkley plowing inside and finds 2.
Yeah, I mean, how hard is that? And they understand that there's no double team. I think Rudy Tomjanovich has to milk that and force the Lakers to do something with that matchup. The Rockets got away from that, and now they're down.
That basket stopped a 9-0 Laker run. Rice got Pippen to back up with a wonderful feint move that threw Pippen off just that much.
And that's one of the few plays that they have for Glenn Rice. Bringing him off the pick, coming down the middle, catch, shoot, or put it on the floor and shoot. People forget how big he is, Kevin.
And people worried, Doc, that with everything going through O'Neal, that the dribble penetration would not be there. As Barkley squeezes the trigger, can't get it to go. Picked up by Kobe, and they've got numbers. Bryant flying with Dickerson at his side. Behind the back to Horry, who drops it inside, and it's cleaned up by Antoine Carr, and that is the first Laker turnover since late third quarter of game 1.
They don't turn the ball over a lot as much as they run, but that last play was an example of Kobe Bryant. All he has to do is make a simple play, and he probably gets a 3-point shot from Glenn Rice.
Mobley snaps at Rice, then tripped, and Pippen gets it back. Shot clock at 2. Outside, it's Dickerson. Get it goes, and it won't fly. Picked up by Horry for the Lakers.
The Lakers right now defensively are doing everything they want to do. They're making Charles Barkley beat them. They're not getting other guys involved, and they're getting every shot they want.
Incoming! Fisher is red hot. He's gone 4 of 5, 11 points, and the Lakers are getting production for a second consecutive game out of an unlikely source.
Yeah, I think at some point they're going to choose someone else. Maybe J.R. Reed or Robert Horry, but right now Fisher is having a terrific game.
Coming off a playoff best 20-point game 1. Another turnover by the Houston Rockets. They've now got 5 in the first quarter. Bryant for 3. Rebounded by Carr.
Not a bad shot. You know, I know it was early in the clock. He had his rhythm, had the shot. That wasn't a forced shot. It looks bad, but it wasn't bad. I could live with that if I'm a coach.
And plus, he's passing more, so his team can live with it, too.
Yeah.
Mobley to Dickerson. Good defense by Horry, who is so long. Mobley outside. Shot clock winding to 4. Looking for Carr through his hands and ricochets out of bounds. Rice on his first shot here.
And you'll see him curl off. Watch this. See, they sewed the post up, and that's something he does. Pick the picker, gets around, gets a shot, and people forget how long he is. Needs one dribble. Not a great ball handler, but he knows where he's going, and he knows how to get his shot off.
Rick Fox is now in, joining Bryant, Rooks, O'Neal on the bench, just with the rest. Fisher for 3 again. That time didn't even draw iron.
And that was a 2-for-1 situation, so he was trying to get a quick shot up. Of course, you'd rather make the shot.
Houston has gone 4 of 15 from the field. They've got 6 turnovers. Barkley draped with Laker defenders, rejected by Horry, the X-Rocket. And here comes Bryant the other way as the game clock is the shot clock, winding down the first quarter.
The adjustments have been made by the Lakers. And that adjustment is when Barkley's in a threatening way, then they send the double teams. That time, 4 guys, Kobe Bryant. Wow.
What a move by Bryant. And Pippen, good if it goes. And Derek Fisher with 11 points. The least known and most unlikely of all Laker heroes with a terrific 3 three-point shots in the first quarter. The form is rocking. So are the Lakers.
It's allowing them to get into their offense quickly and get every shot they want. Give Kurt Rambis credit. He made the adjustment even though they won the basketball game.
We begin the second quarter with Rooks taking the place of O'Neal, missing there. Rebound by Sam Mack out there with Brent Price for the first time. Olajuwon with 2 fouls is in the game. And Othello Harrington makes his first appearance tonight. Pippen inside, double teamed is Hakeem, twisting and turning and contorting his body, and the rebound by Ori.
See, right now, Barkley struggling a little bit down on the post. They banked on that, the Rockets did, and now they really have to rely on Olajuwon. Right when he went out with that second foul, they were in trouble.
Derek Harper was a starter most of the regular season. His legs got tired. Now he is back in. As you can see, the lowest scoring first quarter, tying it this year, 12 points for the Rockets.
And the given with the Lakers is, Kevin, they're going to score points. You know, they were second in the league in scoring. If they start playing defense, that makes them an awful dangerous team.
They're on a roll with San Antonio losing tonight to Minnesota. They become the hottest team right now in the playoffs. And a violation called inside, a 3-second violation as we send it over to Scott Hastings.
Kevin, you guys are talking about the Laker defense. Talking with them the last couple of days in practice, they felt like they played pretty good in game one, but Houston shot some great percentages. They wanted to collapse inside, stay tight, and see if Houston, for 2 games in a row, can continue to shoot the ball well from the perimeter.
And right now, they're getting none of that. They're not getting perimeter shots, and the guys down low aren't making shots. The Lakers are doing everything they want to do early in this game.
Harrington is pickpocketed by Harper. 3-on-2. Hart behind the back to Fox. The defense flies by, and the shot goes off for him, but Ori there to collect it. He's got 6 rebounds already, does Robert Ori.
And you know, when you watch this game right now, you would think that it was the Rockets who won game one if you go by energy, because it's the Lakers right now who are playing with far more energy than the Rockets are. And the Rockets have to be desperate right now.
Bryant with 8 points. And the lead continues to grow for Los Angeles as you take a look at Olajuwon working in on Shaq and snapping it out to Pippen for 2. Rebounded by Fox as he out-dueled Harrington. Fox the other way, known for his defense and a great pass.
There it is again. There it is again. And that is sensational. All year, the Lakers ignored this one thing, and that is Olajuwon or O'Neal running down the court and them getting him the ball, and now they're doing it. Great adjustment.
It's all Los Angeles. Timeout. Rockets. Lakers winning game one by a point. Harper throws it over to Rice. Lakers have never trailed in this game. Their big lead at 21 points.
And I think the big concern right now for Rudy Tomjanovich, you know, you're looking at the score, that's one thing. The guards are making shots, but the key here is Shaquille O'Neal is dominating this game.
And feeding to Fox inside.
He's doing everything. But, you know, he has Olajuwon sitting on the bench now for the second game in a row. That has to be a concern.
Olajuwon with 3 fouls in 9 minutes of play. It's Price for 3, and they needed that in the worst way.
Well, he can shoot the basketball. And that's one thing that Rudy Tomjanovich looks in guards. Not if they can dribble, because Scottie Pippen can do that. If they can shoot, you can play. That's why they didn't want me.
But they did want Kenny the Jet.
Yes.
Here's Olajuwon on the bench, and so it's Shaq against Carr, and that's the story right now. As Olajuwon watches a miss by Shaq, and you know Hakeem would love to be in there in the worst way. The other way is Sam Mack for 3. He hit 3 of them in game one, and another 3 by the Rockets.
You can see a lull right now in energy from the Lakers. The Lakers have to be very careful. This is a veteran team they're playing, and they're a lot like the Jazz in the fact that they're not going to go away.
Houston is on a 6-0 run with a couple of threes as Shaq is inside. Carr brought in for Muscle with 7 to shoot. A foul called inside on the ex-Utah Jazz player, Antoine Carr.
Now, this is what we were talking about earlier. Watch Shaquille O'Neal. He runs the floor. When he runs the floor and just seals, it's tough to adjust, it's tough to double team, and it's tough to get better position than that right there. Shaq is just doing everything right now, running the floor, rebounding, and now making passes.
He was phenomenal game one. And on this play, he was whacked in the head.
Well, he's going to be whacked a lot. You know, Hacker Shaq is back in stuff. That's why Antoine Carr, Harrington, and Stanley Roberts all will get a chance to foul Shaquille O'Neal.
He said in game one, I've never had a game-winning block, but that's indeed what he did as he snuffed out the Rockets' hopes.
He shouldn't tell people that, because as big as he is, he should have had several game-winning blocks by now.
Harper picks up the foul. What about the Rockets, Doc? They look at Olajuwon on the bench. They're down by 18 points. They've trailed by as many as 21, and they're unraveling.
Well, you know what I think bothers them right now is they thought that they played a great game in game one and that they gave it away. So they came in this game very confident that they were going to come in and do the same thing and win. Unfortunately for them, the Lakers are hitting on all cylinders.
They shot 52%. The Rockets did in game one. Tonight they're shooting 30%. A double screen by Reed, and Harper with all day to shoot.
All day is the key. I mean, Derek Harper had enough time to write an essay before he took that shot.
It's how I love the picks set by J.R. Reed. And Trent Price, Pippen rotates it over to Mack, and not a single Laker rotated on Mack.
Well, that's the guy you don't want to get going also. He is a good shooter all the time, and at times he can get into that Glenn Rice type of zone.
Here comes Reed off to Fox, who again turned down huge money from other teams this summer to stay in Los Angeles. He's turned down Cleveland a couple times and Atlanta this past summer. Nice for three.
You know, that was a shot. I haven't had a lot of shots lately. I'm going to take a shot.
Price, he'll put up the three. Tap in try by Pippen, who is 0 of 4 shooting tonight. And here comes Harper the other way, getting nice quality rest minutes on the bench to Fisher. Reed working on Harrington, and Reed with a twist and a turn inside as Carr grabs the ball. Pippen trying to gash the defense outside. Mack again. Rebounded by Carr, swarming on him some Lakers, and he feeds outside to Price, who ditches Harper and hits the two-point shot.
Kurt Rambis is thinking about timeout right now. Though they have a 15-point, he just called it. Though they had a 15-point lead, you can see this game starting to creep back in the way the Rockets wanted.
Price has energized him off the bench. Fisher in his third year in the NBA.
And, you know, and I think what he's doing, Kevin, is just playing with effort. And we talked about it earlier. I think that's the adjustment he made. He came into this year, he knew he had to be the point guard. So I think he must have looked in the point guard definition of what it was supposed to be and tried to be that. Now he's just playing, no longer thinking, playing, and he's playing with confidence. I thought he lost his confidence early in the year, has it back. As a matter of fact, it's soaring right now.
Oh, when he was in high school, he was on the floor diving like that so often. He earned the nickname the Mop, but he began the season as a starter, even in the shadow of Magic Johnson. He knew there was pressure at that position, but then when he faltered, they put in Derek Harper as the starter. Then over the last part of the season, Fisher regained the starting position, and things have worked out great for the Lakers.
Yeah, and over the last 5 or 6 games, he has really been shooting the ball well.
Olajuwon on the bench with 3 fouls, and so it's Carr inside. The miss by Fisher, the rebound by Harrington, and here comes Scottie Pippen, who has yet to make a shot. All points in this quarter for the Rockets.
Pippen has yet to make a shot, but I think his intensity and the way he's playing, getting everybody else involved, is the reason the Rockets are back into this game.
Othella Harrington faking and up and down, and they let him shoot it.
I mean, I think Pippen, he's a strange player because sometimes we get caught up in looking at his numbers, but I think he's doing all these little things. He's running around. He's deflecting the ball. He's getting rebounds. He has this Rocket team back involved in this basketball game. He's in trouble.
Muscling.
Oh, my goodness. Was Antoine Carr in trouble or what?
And he knew it.
And you know, you look at Antoine Carr's body, let me tell you, very few people outweigh Antoine Carr. But Shaquille O'Neal does, that's for sure.
Carr's been around Detroit, Atlanta, Sacramento, San Antonio, Utah the last 4 years. And they were pursuing other people. He went to Houston. And the Rockets welcomed him with open arms. Here's O'Neal floating on up with a hook side on this. Another foul is called on Antoine Carr, who had a eye injury early in his career. Thus he wears the protective goggles, and he's worn those for many years.
And I know you're wondering, why did he foul Shaquille O'Neal? You know why? Because Shaquille O'Neal was about to dunk on him or make a little layup. And what they're doing, hack a Shaq, is play defense, use your body, try to keep him in front of you, make him take a tough shot. But if he has an easy shot, you put him on the foul line, and right now he's 1 for 4.
1 for 4 from the line. In game 1, he was 5 of 14 from the stripe as we send it over to Scott Hastings.
Kevin Doc was talking about hack-a-shack. It's actually a theory by the Los Angeles Lakers, especially against the Houston Rockets, how to get the big guys in foul trouble. When Akeem's in there, they like to run Shaq right down the middle of the floor. He's just way too big for Akeem. Akeem tries to body him. He slides in. He gets it on the basket. Now against Antoine Carr, it's like Mack Truck versus Mack Truck. But as you said, Doc, he's much bigger, and they feel they can back him down from the block.
Yeah, it's really nice when your truck is bigger than the other guy's truck. If you're going to be running into each other.
You want an 18-wheeler,
yes,
don't you, if you're doing it. Kobe Bryant snuck inside, was not blocked out, and snakes his way for 2.
Yeah, I mean, little things like this is what win games. How he gets his hand on this is one thing. How the ball went in is a whole nother thing. That's called fate, luck, and everything else.
Here comes Price off the bench, but he's been a spark. He's out there with Pippen and Mack and Harrington and Roberts. And Mack puts down another 3 off the bench.
I'm telling you, but everything right now is being set up by Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen right now is on the floor with 4 bench players, and they're cutting into the lead.
Bryant with the running hook across the lane, can't get it to go. 9 points for Sam Mack. Here's a kid who is in a halo to keep his neck and his head stable this past summer after a tragic car accident on the heels of a summer last year where an unfortunate boating accident cost his best friend his life. I mean, this kid has been the center of tragedy for 2 consecutive seasons.
He's a survivor. You know, here's the kid who started out with the Rockets, and they kind of gave up on him, sent him away, and now he's back playing good basketball. But, you know, and I keep going back to this. You look at the Rockets right now, they started off in a horrible transition game. The Lakers were getting everything they wanted to get, yet it's still only a 14-point game. If you're Rudy Tomjanovich, the way you played so far, to just be down 14 points is not all bad.
12 points now for Bryant, 11 for Fisher. Shaq out there with Fisher, Bryant, Morey, and Rice. Here's Pippen, yet to hit a shot tonight. Kobe jousting with him and knocked it away, and the shot clock is at 9.
Kobe Bryant right now is into playing defense. He's into passing the ball. He's into getting his teammates involved, and that's why the Lakers are playing good basketball. I mean, that's a nice job by Kobe Bryant.
Lakers are shooting 54%. Houston timeout.
Stand by me.
I read it. I don't think.
Wow.
It was in front of me, yeah, but that's kind of interesting, isn't it? Here's Price for 3. Oh, what a shot!
Oh, my.
All 21 Houston points in this quarter have come from the bench.
I mean, it's Scottie Pippen and the Pips right now, and the Pips are rolling.
It's been looking like Gladys Knight and the Pips
Yes.
until now. Here's Rice, dueling with Pippen. Inside to Shaq. Olajuwon on the bench with 3 fouls. Roberts is there. He snaps it outside to Fisher. 1 to shoot. It's away, but no good. And a shot clock violation. It did not hit the rim, hit the glass.
That was the first time that the Rockets did exactly what they wanted to do. Stanley Roberts kept Shaquille O'Neal out of the paint long enough. When the clock got down to 4 seconds, then they trapped, knowing that one pass is a quick shot.
Price again, who came as a free agent a couple years ago. Harrington slashes inside.
How about this? It's a 9-point game.
Rockets are on a roll. 21-7 after the Lakers led by 21. A Laker turnover, very rare so far in these playoffs. Mack for 3. Rebounded, reeled in by Fisher.
Yeah, quick shot, but the way they're playing, I think Rudy Tomjanovich has told Mike and Price, shoot it when you get it.
Rice with the 3.
Wow. They lost Glenn Rice. They've done a good job all game. And that time, they lost them. And you can see from the reaction of Rudy on that shot, he didn't like it.
He is such a master, Rice. Is coming off screens, deftly moving on the floor. Back for 3 again. Rebounded by Robert Orr. Outlet to Kobe. But the Rockets back on defense, and so Bryant swerves and tries. And tipped his on miss.
He just wanted it more.
Spectacular play by Kobe Bryant.
See, now this is the first time in the last 6 minutes Rudy Tomjanovich jumped up, called a play, settle down, guys. We're taking too many quick shots now. we have them back. We're back into this game.
Pippen is yet to score as he finds Harrington. That ball poked away. But you like the way Pippen is playing, but this time it was all Bryant.
Yeah, this is just nice. This is what he can do. I mean, this is not off a play. This is called being a very good basketball player, and you can create your own. Don't leave Glenn Rice, Sam Mack, because you will get burnt.
What a sweet stroke he has. Shot clock at 5. Price drives into 3 Lakers, hooks it up, and it rolls in.
You know, I think Brent Price looked at that matchup and said, you know, I'm posting up Shaq. I'm going to take him. He took him. Wow.
Rockets look crisp as we wind down the first half. 1:40 to play as Shaq bumps his way and then kicks it back out to Ori. 2-man game with Shaq over Roberts.
I don't think they mind that shot. You know, he can make that shot, but that's one where he had to shoot over a big body. I think the Rockets would live with that.
Here's Pippen. And they got Harrington. Pass inside, ill-advised, picked up by Bryant. Lakers have numbers, and he flips it outside to Rice.
Just like that, 16 points. Glenn Rice made that going backwards.
This game was in single digits seconds ago. Matt to Pippen. Guarded by Bryant. Pippen is yet to score. Lakers on a 9-2 run as Roberts goes right into Shaq. And a foul called on O'Neal.
Now I want you to watch Glenn Rice right here just run the floor. Kobe will come up the middle. Watch him just space out a little bit. You see he was going to go to the bucket, spaces out, takes that shot going backwards. You have to be pretty strong to do that. But really nice. I mean, guys like Rice, they understand. If he keeps running, then he's not going to get that shot. So he runs, but then he spaces out. He spreads the defense. That allows Kobe Bryant a driving lane. Kobe drives, gets help, kicks, Rice gets the shot.
Good point. Tomorrow night, Doc and I will be in Phoenix on TBS, Blazers and Suns, preceded by Hawks and Pistons. Doubleheader on TNT tomorrow night. Heat, Knicks, and Utah in Sacramento against the surprising Kings. Rice posting low. Roberts got handed. Shaq with the tie.
That's a great example of the Lakers starting to figure out how to use Rice. You know, Kurt Rambis was telling us he has not had a lot of practice time. He didn't really know exactly all the things that Rice could do, except for he knew he could shoot the ball. Now they're bringing him off picks. They're isoing him, and they're posting him up.
But he still is not the first option. First option remains O'Neal.
That's a smart decision.
Yes. And there's a foul called on Price. That's the first. Make it Harrington who picks up his first.
And what has happened here, the Pips were starting to roll.
Yeah.
But at some point, I think talent catches up, and I think now it's catching up to the Rockets. You have to get back in your starters, just no time. Look at this post position by Glenn Rice. That draws help. That frees up Shaquille O'Neal.
He loves it. There's a 2-second difference between the big clock and the shot clock. Winding down the first half. Rockets made a run, but the Lakers, who led by 21, have now jumped it up to 23 as it's lost inside. Picked up by Mack. Bryant got a hand on it. Diving on the floor as they play Twister on the side. And a shove called, I think, on Fisher.
Yeah, I think they're going to call it, or if in football terms, they're going to call piling on, because that's exactly what he did. It was actually a good call.
Ernie Johnson, along with Kenny the Jet Smith and Peter Vesey in our studio. Scores and highlights from tonight. And a lot of interviews from so many around the NBA. It's the AT&T Halftime Report coming up next from Atlanta.
And you'll see here, you know, watch here, there's 2 guys on the floor, and then Derek Fisher basically piled on. and that's why he gets the foul. I mean, look at this. That's an easy call there. First down, Rockets.
The game has had that kind of intensity.
It really has.
It's been physical.
But for the most part, you know, you look at the veteran Rockets, I think most of the physical intensity and smart plays have come from the young Lakers.
And even though the lead of Los Angeles has climbed as high as 23, and now is at 55-39. Los Angeles. It has still been a very entertaining first half.
Yeah, and don't forget now, Olajuwon has been sitting a good 9 minutes, and so has Charles Barkley.
Olajuwon with 3 fouls, and Barkley not necessarily in foul trouble, but they just found other options like Mack and Brent Price.
He'll be the option in the second half.
He'll have to be the option.
He has to be a big option if the Rockets are going to get back in this game.
And that's the buzzer. The first half has come to a close. Kobe Bryant with a 14-point first half. 6 rebounds as the Lakers shoot 56%. They led by as many as 23. They got it in hand by 15 at halftime.
That means you are struggling.
Felt the Lakers didn't steal game 1. The Rockets said they just gave it away. So they try to rebound from the crushing defeat game 1 and the inexhaustible energy of the Lakers here in game 2. Here comes Fisher working on Mobley. Shaq will go down low. Barkley is with him. And a turnover as Pippen gets it and works the other way and waits for the big men to get down there like Olajuwon. Here's Dickerson off to Mobley for 3, and he hits it.
That's a nice sign, and I think the first thing you should look at is who is guarding Shaquille O'Neal right now. Maybe this is one of the reasons that Rudy rested Barkley, because now Barkley is guarding Shaq.
Outside to Bryant, swinging it to Fisher. Inside to O'Neal, doubled. And look for Reed as Shaq goes down. It's off the Rockets with 8 to shoot for Los Angeles.
You know, Shaq just was pulled the chair trick. Watch Charles Barkley back off of him. How many times have you seen Charles Barkley move backwards like this? You see Barkley get out of the way? That's called pulling the chair, and unfortunately O'Neal fell for it.
Shot clock at 3 for O'Neal. Double teamed inside, rebound by Barkley, and here comes Pippen.
This is a key point of the game for both teams. Obviously for the Rockets, they just want to try to get back in this game. For the Lakers, they have to come out and match that same energy they had in the first half.
Olajuwon with a great move across the lane.
See, it's a 10-point game. If I'm Kurt Rambis, I'm thinking timeout already.
Bryant to O'Neal. And just like that, moving off the right block when he's much more comfortable moving off the left block.
And again, what Shaq is doing differently than they did all year, he's coming down early in the offense and getting great position.
Pippen to Dickerson. They've got Rice out there. Barkley pounding his way inside on Reed. Can't get it to go, but does draw the foul out of J.R. Reed of Los Angeles Lakers.
Right now, if you're the Rockets, you love the way this game is being played. It's not a lot of emotion anymore. They're just playing thinking man's basketball. And if you're the Rockets, you have to like that. Everything, to me, is going exactly the way the Rockets wanted to right now.
So the adjustments look to important. First 5 minutes of this half important as we send it over to Scott Hastings.
Kevin, you want to talk about adjustments. Watch Akeem and the big men for Houston and how they're going to play Shaquille O'Neal on the post. They started with Charles Barkley on him. But what they did back in the hallway in the bowels of this building, the coaches are working with their forearms, keeping a hand low, trying to get the hip, pushing the hip to lose his balance, to keep him further away from the basket. But they are actually working on this. Stanley Robertson and Akeem back in the hallway of this building.
And I think it's a good move because what they want to do is make him catch it further away from the basket. That way they don't have to double team and leave Glenn Rice and then use clock. And finally at the 6 or 7 second mark, then they'll come. You see what Barkley just did there, just what Scott Hastings was talking about. He used his forearm and he got Shaq out of the block.
And he's so much stronger now, and there's a foul called on the Lakers inside. It's on J.R. Reed. In fact, Robert Horry used to play for Houston when Barkley was with Phoenix. Said the difference now is that he's not chubby and fat. He is solid muscle.
You see that push down there at the bottom, Kevin? Shaq caught it almost out the paint. That's what they want. J.R. Reed has to go out of the game now because of fouls. I think the Rockets have this game the way they want it. The problem is they're still down 11 points.
Down by 11, 10 to play in the third. The miss by Dickerson, the leaping rebound by Rice. And here comes Fisher the other way, who had a great first quarter. They double him on the block, outside to Rice, swinging it to Bryant for 3.
I guarantee you that's not the rotation or the trap that they wanted. Because Shaquille O'Neal wasn't even looking to score there, and yet they still double team.
Pippen trying to drive. He's shadowed by Bryant. Here comes Olajuwon, doubled, tripled, knocked away by Shaq and picked up by Rice.
See, now they're off and running.
3-on-2. Ori trying to finish as the rookie Mobley slid him from the side.
And it's really been the Lakers' defense that had allowed them to score tonight. They score off their defense, and I think every time they get a defensive stop, it gives this young team more confidence that, yeah, you know, they can be a good defensive team.
Doc, I think it gives both team confidence, even the veterans of the Houston Rockets with the 3 Hall of Famers on the front line. And we've seen that all season long. It seems to just spawn all kinds of energy when the defensive game is intact.
Well, you're looking at the Laker team. You know, during the season, they were 25th in opponents' points against. So they were not a very good defensive team.
Horrible. And tonight, here's the defensive look.
Yeah, and you love that. I mean, look at the stop percentage. Right now, 60%. The Lakers are scoring any way they want to.
Houston, 52% in the first game here and 42% in the first half here in game 2 tonight. With Ori, who has bounced around a bit. Began in Houston, was part of those championship teams in 93 and 94. And the rebound by Pippen on the miss by Ori. Here comes Mobley, second round pick out of Rhode Island. Dickerson to Pippen to Dickerson. A wonderful pass, but they can't convert. Out of bounds goes Rice. Loose ball foul. Called inside on Charles Barkley.
You know, that was a terrific pass by Scottie Pippen. But what's more amazing was the rotations by the Lakers. They helped defensively.
I would assume for a young team, rotations becomes a tough thing to really grasp as you see Rice plow into Pippen, who picks up the foul. But the rotation game is tough even for a veteran team.
Well, it comes down to trust, and I think what happens with rotations, if you rotate once and then that guy doesn't help you out and your man scores, then you don't rotate the second time. And that's what was happening to the Lakers early in the year. Kobe Bryant was complaining he trapped, but then his man would score. Now I think they trust each other.
Missed by O'Neal. Pippen's got a couple fouls. Mack is in the game as Dickerson takes the bench for Houston. And here's Mack, who electrified and energized the Rockets in the first half. Pippen to Barkley, and here's the bread and butter.
Yeah, and that's what they're going to settle on, because this is a huge advantage for the Rockets.
The difference is tonight Barkley is not hitting those shots that he was hitting on Sunday.
And you know what else? Not only is he not hitting the shots, he's not drawing double teams either. So right now, the Lakers are getting exactly what they want. Barkley's 1 from 5, and he's being held one-on-one. There's not a lot of double teams here.
Neal on that left block, single coverage applied by Barkley, and here's a foul called on Charles.
Well, he's straight on. You can't straighten your arm. You have to have it bent, and that's what they're calling.
You can use your forearm. You can use your shoulder. You just can't use your hand this way.
Well, you can use it as long as you don't extend it straight. You can see there. He has it extended. That's a foul. You can have it bent. I think it's a ridiculous rule, if you want me to be honest, but that's the rule.
Spoken like a true guard.
Yes.
Here comes Bryant. Lost it as he was going to kind of look at Fisher, who retrieves it and hits the 3. And that was a busted play.
Yeah, it really was. And you know what? Now the game is shifting back. The energy is back for the Lakers.
Mobley off to Pippen, who finds Olajuwon with the shake. And a rejection by Shaquille O'Neal. Picked up by Fisher. The Lakers the other way, and a 3 by Rice. There, and there is Al Davis, managing general partner of the Oakland Raiders.
Commitment to excellence.
Yes. Decades of excellence.
Yes. Just not lately.
No. Barkley on that block, guarded by Ori. No double team, as you'll notice. Outside to Mack. Back to Barkley. He's open on the baseline. Again, not hitting. He's 1 of 6. And here comes a galloping O'Neal. Up to Fisher. And off to Kobe. Across the lane, scooping it up, and a rebound by Barkley. Oh, that was right by the eyes of Shaq.
Yeah, that was more show than actual substance.
Pippen for 3. Still has not hit. He's 0 of 5 from the field.
Yeah, and though I think he's played a nice floor game, they need some of his points also right now.
Shaq with the hook. Rebound by Barkley. Having trouble getting out of the backcourt. Finally gets it off the Price. Into Akeem.
Oh, what a block.
Robert Horry with the block, and Pippen tries to follow. Barkley's inside. Hacked and foul.
They are flying, Kevin. This Laker team is flying around, and they're scoring off their defense. Everything is off their defense. I mean, this is a sensational player. Just never giving up, always thinking you're involved in the play. Wow. And then even Barkley. I mean, Robert Horry, after the block, is back into it, and here's the little elbow. That was more for show. Right now, Barkley has to stay focused and not go for the show.
Big three tonight. Pippen, Barkley, and Olajuwon, a combined 4 of 21 with 12 points and 16 rebounds. And Barkley's frustration showing. And there's Rudy Tomjanovich, who has been in this situation many times with his Rockets over the years. But I don't think anybody would have dreamt that they'd have this kind of season, and especially play this kind of game 2 in the playoffs.
Yeah, and you know what? Charles Barkley has to be careful. This is one of the things that his friend Michael Jordan criticized him about. Staying focused, staying committed. Your team's down 21. You're the star. You have to be the leader right now.
20-point game. Rockets have never led. They've trailed by as many as 23. They've been as close as 9. That was back in the second quarter. Rice over Barkley. Wow.
It's amazing how quickly he can get that shot off.
Here comes Price, hounded by Fisher. Inside to Akeem. Rooks is there with some defense as O'Neal is on the bench. And Price missing there. Tapped and tried by Barkley, won't go. Olajuwon has it stolen inside as the Rockets have missed 10 consecutive shots.
Bodies all over the place, and most of them are the Lakers. Take a look at Glenn Rice. Now, Scottie Pippen didn't lose him. We saw this in shoot-around. That was Charles Barkley's rotation. Got there late. You know, Charles Barkley is thinking, I got there on time.
Right.
The guy just shoots it off quick.
Very quick release. Rice to Fisher. Outside to Mack, and they double-team him on the perimeter, and he hits a 3.
You think he was going to drive? One guy ran by him. He still stood there. He was putting up the 3.
First Houston field goal in 5 minutes. Rice is hounded. Pippen is on him. And knocked away. Nice defense by Scottie Pippen.
Yeah, see, this is what Rudy does not want, is Glenn Rice dribbling around and creating offense. That time, Scottie Pippen did a nice job defensively.
Pippen is a great team help defender.
And that's why it's up for him to guard Glenn Rice, because he wants to go help. You can't help off of Glenn Rice.
Back for 3 again.
That's
Rice was there. Rice may have altered the shot with his length and size, to which Mack wonders why a foul was not called as he was knocked to the deck, and they go the other way.
You can't be too impatient. You can't make up a 19-point lead with one shot, and that was a horrible shot.
Derek Harper is in the game. Fisher takes a breather on the bench. Out there with Rooks, Rice, Bryant, and Horry. A shimmy by Bryant behind the back, and it ends up above the arc, which is caught, and then back on the side to Kobe. Fake and a lean and a foul. Foul is called on Sam Mack. He was acquired in a midseason trade with Vancouver, and at the free throw line will be Sean Rooks. Let's take a look at Mack. Sean Rooks, who has played with Dallas and Minnesota, a short time with Atlanta, now is the primary backup to Shaquille O'Neal here in L.A.
Yeah, and it really goes by who they're playing. I mean, sometimes it's Travis Knight, sometimes it's Rooks. The reason Rooks is playing now is because look at his body. It's a simple answer. He has a big body. Travis Knight is smaller, so they need the weight, especially on a guy like Barkley. Right now he's guarding Olajuwon. I think Olajuwon, this is a key time for him to try to assert himself offensively.
Doc, he hasn't been to the free throw line tonight.
Well, that's because he's been on the bench most of the night, because he's been putting other guys on the free throw line with fouls. You know, Shaquille O'Neal's not going to foul him. Shaquille O'Neal is going to stand behind him and make him shoot over.
Here's Olajuwon working on Rooks with the spin. Rooks defended it well.
He really did.
And saves it from going out of bounds. Here comes Harper. 3-on-2. Rice, another three. Pippen finds it and off his hands. Oh, they'll say it's off the Lakers.
And I think you're saying that was a bad call by your reaction.
I'm just saying it looked like Pippen was the last to touch it, but my
look at
view
this.
wasn't good.
Nice defense here, and all Rooks does, again, he is making Olajuwon shoot over him. They're trying to keep Olajuwon in front of him.
Rooks again. We'll go mano-a-mano with Olajuwon. There's a pass. It was knocked away.
D again by Rooks.
Outside, here's Harper. Here the Lakers are dominating. An exciting finish in Indiana. Let's go back to Atlanta and Ernie Johnson.
All right, thank you.
He just hit an outside shot. And Pippen there was caught and tangled up. Barkley hit the shot. He isn't very few tonight. He has only hit 2 of 8 tries. And they're going to call a jump ball after the defense by Pippen on the side.
Hey, you know, we talk about the big three a lot. In this game this evening, all the other guys, the Pips, have been playing pretty well. Gladys Knight is struggling.
Yes. Pippen's last field goal came with 9 minutes left as Barkley buries a three. Pippen's last field goal came with 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter Sunday. Great shot by Charles, who is a horrible three-point shooter.
Yeah, I was going to say. Rudy was not thinking that until it went in.
Horry to Harper to Bryant with the screen from Rooks. Bryant fires it inside the box. What a pass by Bryant.
You know, see, that's a great example, Kevin, of now the guys are buying into it. That would never have happened even 2 weeks ago because no one would have cut because they didn't think Kobe was going to pass the ball. Now they're cutting because they know they're going to get the ball.
5 assists from Bryant tonight.
I mean, right now, Kobe Bryant, you know what he's thinking? Assists are cool, man.
Yeah.
You know, because this is nice.
Great pass. We've got a timeout. It's all Lakers by 20.
Stay into this game. I mean, this has to be mentally a difficult game for the big three to stay into because you can watch them this morning in practice. They had a swagger, Kevin, and you saw it. They thought that they were going to come out here and win.
They're going to open up a can.
I'm not finishing that sentence.
Hey, I'm setting you up. 9 points for Barkley in this game. 7 in this quarter as Sam Mack is at the free throw line. Mack brought some energy and some outside shooting in the second quarter when at one time the Rockets down by 23 came to within 9 because of the bench.
Yeah, the benches play well. You know, they got nothing from the bench in game 1. They got everything from the starters in game 1. It's the exact opposite in game 2. But I got to say something. If the Lakers are going to play like this, I don't know even if the Rockets play well if they can beat the Lakers. The Lakers are playing great D. They're passing the ball and they're making shots. What else can you ask for?
Fox against Mack. Here comes the acrobatic Bryant. Open. The defense can switch, but Kobe can't convert the three. Even the Ori tap won't go. I'll call it on Fox. It was going head-to-head with Barkley for the rebound. Now let's drop in on Scott Hastings.
Kevin just had an interesting conversation with Magic Johnson, who has a seat right down at the end of the Laker bench. And, you know, he's excited. He said for the first time this team has got it. He said even game 1, they didn't still have that togetherness. He says watch them defensively. No one's afraid to leave a man because they know their back is going to be covered. They're passing the ball. No one says, oh, he's got 3 shots. Now I get mine. I'm quoting Magic. And an interesting thing he just said, talking about Derek Fisher, he said Fish came to him before the playoffs started, said, Magic, how'd you do it? What do I got to do? Magic said he just looked at him, smiled, and said, hey, you just keep playing. Do what you do best. You know they're going to leave you wide open. Just make the shot. That's all you got to do, guys.
That's a good point, and that's what Fisher is doing. And when we talked about that, he's just playing. Defensively, they do trust each other. You remember the argument that Shaq and Kobe had? It was over. Kobe was trapping, but nobody was getting his back, so he didn't trust. He didn't want to trap anymore. Now he does trust, and I think the biggest thing offensively, everybody is sharing the wealth.
Rooks is out. O'Neal back in. Bryant on the rookie Dickerson. And he's in the line.
See, I think that's still an untapped resource for the Lakers is Kobe Bryant on the post. I think after Shaq, he's the best post player on the Lakers. Kobe thinks he's the best post player. Now,
he's probably right. Barkley. Foul is inside on the LA Lakers, but he is frustrated.
No, he is frustrated. You know, he misses free throws down. He's throwing his mouthpiece out. He's stuffing on it. It's tough. I mean, you have to say, I don't care how many games you've played, you get frustrated, especially when you think you're going to win a game and you get blown out.
Neal picks up the foul there. Here is Barkley at the free throw line with 2:13 to play in the third quarter.
But the great thing about the playoffs, Kevin, is you have to finish the race. So you can start out of the blocks and lead the race, but you still have to finish the race. And all the Rockets are thinking right now, Lakers win this game, they're up 2-0. All they did was held serve. Go back to Houston, you win 2 games, and then you force a game 5.
Go get your momentum back.
Yes.
And they need the momentum in the worst way right now, because the Lakers have been absolutely magnificent for 2 consecutive games. Fox for 3. Olajuwon is there, playing with 3 fouls. None in the second half. Barkley to Mack. And a foul. Call on Kobe Bryant. You like this one? There is a higher power.
Yes.
We got guys praying, guys shooting themselves. We're covering the gamut.
Kobe looks over me and says, that's the same call they gave him the last game.
Game 1.
And, you know, he makes a great point.
Yeah.
How aware is he of that? You know what he's saying is, you know, people complain. They said that was not a foul with Kobe Bryant that last play. And he said, now he just got the same foul. So it was a foul. And different referees.
We had a great conversation with Jerry West today, who just absolutely cherishes the fact that Bryant is on this team.
Yeah, you know, he keeps saying he's 20 years old. Wait till he's 22. He's special. He's competitive. He says his team never loses in practice. He doesn't even have a girlfriend. He goes home and watches tapes every night.
What a great kid.
Yeah.
Here comes Bryant off to Shaq, working on Akeem. A 2-man game with Fox. And they got Mack going back and forth, digging from one to the other, and they caught Mack in a no-man's land.
He lives in L.A. and he has no girlfriend. Wow.
Hey, would you drop that in the back of the game? Here's Price. That's the big. You're going to come away from this game with that story, aren't you?
Yes.
That's all you're going to remember. Illegal defense blown on the Lakers. This is game 2 of the best-of-5 Western Conference first round. Number 4 seed Lakers, who won the season series with Houston. Game 1 went by a point to the Lakers. Game 2, total domination by Los Angeles, leading at one time by 23. Second quarter, Rockets game to within 9. Now the lead has blossomed again. 80-62, Los Angeles.
And I think what people get caught up in, they get caught up in that 80 number. They keep saying, wow, the Lakers are playing great offense. I think what you should get caught up in is say, wow, the Lakers are playing great defense, and that's how they're getting great offense.
They have an inadvertent whistle, thus no illegal defense, and that is how the Rockets capitalize on that two-handed jam by Barkley. Harper and Price. Barkley has 12 points in this third quarter. 14 for the game. Shaq with a great spin.
See, Akeem Olajuwon is in foul trouble. So Kurt Rambis is doing a smart thing. He said, okay, you bring him in, we're going to go right to him, we're going to make him play defense. Either he's going to foul Shaq or Shaq's going to get layups.
Look at Mack knife his way right through the lane. Harper the other way. Rockets shooting 37%, Lakers 54%. Again, an acrobatic shot by Shaquille O'Neal.
Not doubling Shaquille O'Neal is not going to work.
Dickerson inside, rejected by Shaq. Another phenomenal game put together by O'Neal, who is truly energized by the new Laker passing game and the emphasis on defense.
Wants the basketball and nobody notices it, but when you're shooting like that, it doesn't matter. Everybody is in the act.
Harper hits the 3. Lakers 87-66. No shot clock. As you see the shooting in the game, 56% shooting by the Lakers.
Look at the communication right now. Derek Harper pointing. Robert Horry pointing. Shaquille O'Neal talking.
Price trying to beat the clock. Fouled on the play by Harper.
See, this is the little things that this team didn't do defensively. On that one play, I saw 3 guys talking about what they were going to do on the defensive end.
Doc, how can this team have changed so radically in such a short time?
Well, I really don't know, because honestly, after making all these trades, and see, I'm one of the guys that thought the trades were good. You know, I love Eddie Jones, and I love Evan Campbell. I just think Glenn Rice gives this team some scoring in the playoffs, and that's important. But I didn't think it was going to work this year. I thought it was going to take time. I think one thing Kurt Rambis did, he looked at his team and said, we're scoring points. I'm just going to concentrate on defense only, and I think it's paid off.
Defense has led the way, and Kobe Bryant has been the thrust of the Lakers' success tonight. 19 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. What a game. Through 3, it's all Los Angeles.
Shooting 4 for 10. I think the other factor is not only are they not scoring, but the other guys around them are not scoring. They're not creating any offense either. That is a deadly combination for the Rockets, who bank on not only the big 3 getting points, but them creating all the offense.
So Pippen and Olajuwon on the bench. Great pass. Dickerson flies inside. Rebound by Barkley, who's had a stellar second half of this game.
Now, you're looking also at this score as a 17-point lead. It's 11.5 minutes left. Kurt Rambis takes Shaq out. I think what he's thinking is sore knee. Let's see how long we can go without playing him. He would love to finish this game and not bring Shaq back off the bench.
Tendonitis, as we reported early in the game. 3-point shot by Price. Rebound by Rice. Los Angeles will go with Harper at the point. Rooks taking the place of the aforementioned O'Neal. Fox and Horry. Fox with the miss. He was a starter a year ago. Now says I'll willingly come off the bench. Into Carr. Guarded by Horry. Antoine Carr is called with an offensive foul.
That is so nice. He just got into his body. Antoine Carr turns right into him. Doesn't even have to flop. And he gets a charge. I mean, look at this. First he flicks it, and then watch how he gets up into his body, really giving him no room to turn. Antoine Carr turns, foul.
Get it into Rooks, and here's Horry outside, picked up by Barkley. Fox and Mack. Doubled by Price. Squeezing one off is Fox. Rebounded by Barkley.
See, with this unit, instead of posting Fox up, I think you post up Glenn Rice.
Dickerson the miss. Ball is loose. Fox has it ahead for Harper, and he can't chase it down before falling out of bounds, and is bear hugged by Magic. Another assist by Magic Johnson.
How about that? He's
Even when he
involved
doesn't
also.
play.
And you know what Harper's thinking? I could have got that 5 years ago.
Yeah, that's right. Laker turnover. Ice around the Carr's screen, goes around Horry, penetrates, feeds to Barkley. Good pass outside the Carr.
Really nice
pass. Because he saw the double team and knew he had no chance. He was suffocating inside.
See, with Kobe Bryant and Shaq out of the game, there you go. Right there is where your answer is. I think you go to Glenn Rice down on the post or something. That's who has to create the offense right now.
13 rebounds for Barkley. Everybody is off Carr. He hits again.
Lakers better be careful. It's 10 minutes in this game.
The pace of the Rockets game has really shifted gears.
And once again, it's with one of the big 3 in the game and the 4 pips. See, creating offense. That's a nice adjustment.
Horry, and they did not rotate quick enough on defense. The Rockets didn't, and again they get burned. 10 3-point hits tonight for Los Angeles.
Exactly, and nice adjustment, Rambis. Go down to the post, get a double team. That's what Rice can do. They go double team, and you create an open shot for your teammate.
Price for 2.
But the way the Rockets are starting to shoot the ball and now play defense, Shaquille O'Neal will be back in this game very shortly.
Mack with Fox there. Screen by Carr. Outside Barkley. Can he hit another 3? You bet you can.
Wow. How quickly has this game turned around?
It is a 13-point game, 19 for Barkley, who had 2 in the first half.
Yeah, I think you're going to see Shaquille O'Neal back in, Kobe Bryant back in, and Derek Fisher back in. And right now, all the Rockets are doing is firing it up from everywhere.
Now we've got a confrontation in front of the official scores table as O'Neal came out on the floor and had words for Antoine Carr.
So that makes it a playoff series.
And now we've got ourselves a Donnybrook.
Yes.
We've got another aspect to this series. They called the timeout, but O'Neal was clearly sitting on the bench, perturbed at something that Carr had said in passing. Timeout, Lakers 92-79.
That he was going to start getting physical. They got into it right before the timeout. That was done absolutely on purpose. And it was started right. Watch here, Derek Harper and Brent Price going at it. And they've been going at it for a while. Now watch the elbow. Right there, and that started it. And then you see Antoine Carr getting involved and Shaquille O'Neal coming out, and all they're doing is talking now. But I think that last 2 fouls by Antoine Carr was on purpose and frustration.
Pippen has come in. Carr has fouled out. Olajuwon Barkley on the front line. Here comes Bryant with O'Neal going up against Hakeem. Shaq bumping and grinding, and everything is dropping for Shaquille O'Neal tonight.
Boy, it really is. And you know, one thing I think the Rockets is trying to do, the other way didn't work. So maybe let's try to get under the young guy's skin. Maybe we can get back in the game that way.
Olajuwon outside. Barkley, another 3 try. This time missed everything.
Enough.
He's got to be getting tired.
Well, shooting threes might be one of the reasons.
Bryant works on Price. Held and fouled. Barkley has been a huge contrast from one half to the next tonight. In the first half, just a couple of points. In the second half, he has exploded with 17.
Well, one thing you should look at also is minutes. In the first half, he set a long time in the second quarter. You know, he was struggling a little bit, so Rudy went without him. Now he is the go-to guy.
Shaq. Oh, my. O'Neal from the floor, 11 of 19.
Now, Kurt Rambis just looked at Shaq and started smiling. You know, he's thinking, I have a good player on my team.
A great player on his team. O'Neal watching Olajuwon. 9 seconds to shoot. Mack picked up by Rice. Back to Hakeem, doubled by Fisher. He'll dig on Price. Back out to Stoddard, who is hitting a shot tonight from the field and continues. He is 0 of 7 from the field.
You know, you watch Scottie Pippen. He doesn't touch the ball for periods of like 2, 3, and 4 minutes, and then he gets a shot. That's one of the things that Glenn Rice complained about being here. He didn't say he needed to shoot the ball. He just said he wanted the feel of the basketball to stay in ball.
O'Neal is on a roll. He is on a major roll, riding a wave and riding it hard.
Are they milking Shaquille O'Neal right now?
Olajuwon over Shaq. And a foul. We keep talking about the offense, but again, you keep bringing up, Doc, the defense of Los Angeles.
Yeah, and you know, the Lakers have 100 points, and it's still 6 minutes left in the game. But look at the rotation. Look at the bodies moving. Nobody's staying still. Everyone's spreading, playing great defense. This is why the Los Angeles Lakers have a lead.
We're here with Phoenix tomorrow for the Blazers and the Suns. Coming up inside the NBA with Peter Vesey, Terry Cummings, hosted by Bob Lawrence. All next on Inside the NBA.
And I really think that Portland-Phoenix series comes down to one thing for Phoenix, making open shots. I thought they had great shots last night in doing that game. They just didn't make them. They made them in the first half, didn't make them in the second half.
Barkley's had a great second half on the bench now. Those were the first 2 free throw attempts taken tonight by Hakeem Olajuwon.
You know what hurts the Rockets in this series is that really you don't have to double Olajuwon because you have Shaq guarding him.
Olajuwon foiled Shaq that time. Harrington is on the court for Houston. Here's Price with Harrington and flips it over to Hakeem. And he dropped it. There's a difference there.
Wow. No, you should have said there's a big difference there, because that's a big difference. And I think the Rockets would have just liked those numbers to be even between those two and hope that Barkley would dominate the game.
Here comes Shaq. Bumped by Olajuwon, and a foul called on Hakeem Olajuwon. We've seen the big three for Houston. The big three for the LA Lakers tonight have filled every category.
Yeah, they really have. You know, I think the patience of Rice and Kobe Bryant has been terrific. You don't see great numbers, but what you see is that cuts. Guys are really starting to play off each other. It's wonderful to watch this team when they play like this.
This passing has just transformed this team into just a team now into a real good team. Outside, won't shoot, feed off the mat. Rice is on mat.
I think you make a good point by just calling them a team.
Yeah.
You know, in the past, they were a collection of individuals. Now they are a basketball team.
Shaq with the block, Fisher with the three. Rebounded by Pippen. Pippen has not made a shot from the field tonight, 0 of 7. And these are the games where he has always thrived in the past. Left wide open. And threw up an air ball, and then Price cleans it up.
And things are going bad now for the Rockets.
Neal with 25 points. That pass picked off by the long arms of Pippen. Off to Price. Fly inside, and a foul is called.
And we keep talking about the little things that the Lakers are doing. Watch this cut. See, these cuts were not made a month ago or even 2 weeks ago. And the reason they were not made, because when they cut, they didn't get the ball. Now they're getting the ball, so guys are really starting to read off of each other.
Shaq, great case in point, 7 assists.
And I think it's time to get Shaq out of the game. You had a big guy with a sore knee. This game has been decided. I wouldn't be surprised to see Shaq coming out pretty soon.
And Price again, brother of Mark Price, who just recently retired from the NBA. 18 for Price. Rice, as Ori just turned an ankle. Rebounded by Harrington. Quick outlet caught by Price. Bullard underneath. And whacked by Robert Ori. And let's send it over to Scott Hastings.
Kevin, kind of an interesting stat. You talked about Pippen 0 for 7 in the game tonight, and he's really frustrated. You should see him during the timeouts in the locker room. 5 of 13 last game. He actually has not made a field goal in the last 46 minutes of play in this series.
Wow.
I can't believe it.
I'm impressed with 2 things. First is Scotty Hastings added up to 46 minutes, which is very impressive. That's the key stat there. What do you think, Kevin?
Doc, I couldn't agree more.
You know, put me on the sideline and you just dog me, don't you?
Rice off to Shaq. Stanley Roberts is in the game for the first time in the second half. Played a lot in the first half. Rice driving. Roberts the block. Picked up by Shaq with 6 seconds to shoot. And a foul.
And this is what we were talking about, turned ankle. Watch Robert Ori and look at the bottom of your screen. Steps on Stanley Roberts' foot. Doesn't look that bad, actually, because he's still in the game. I'm surprised he's in the game. I'm really surprised Shaquille O'Neal's in the game.
He also twisted that ankle in the first half. O'Neal at the line. His free throw shooting will not be a factor tonight, but it was late in the game in game 1.
And look for them to do that in game 3 also, the Rockets. They will foul Shaq if it's a close game down the stretch.
27 points for Shaquille O'Neal. Another dominating performance. 10 in this fourth quarter. Final 3.5 minutes. Winding off the clock here in the game. Bryce Drew is in the game for the first time. Mack to Roberts over O'Neal, who has another hand on that shot. Drew is on Kobe. Great move by Bryant. Well, the Rockets will head back to Houston down 2-0 as Harrington floats on the reverse inside. And here is a team that was picked by many to contend in the Western Conference Finals. They're going to have trouble getting out of the first round.
Yeah, they're already having trouble. They're in trouble right now. And again, if the Lakers are going to play like this, I don't know if the Lakers can lose.
Timeout taken with under 3 to play.
I think he's saying, you know, Charles, we're kicking your butt right now.
Saying this is as good as it gets. And it is for the Lakers. This stretch of 6 games has been as good as it possibly could have gotten.
That's a heck of a segue. That was very good. And you're looking at Rudy Thompson.
You act surprised.
I'm impressed. That was good.
We work all day on this stuff.
And you're looking at Rudy Tomjanovich, and one of the classiest men in the league, and it just keeps things in such great perspective. One of the things he did with his team this morning, he went to them and said, listen, guys, we have played a good game in game 1. We lost it. Keep your heads up. He really did more encouraging than he actually did in adjusting. You saw that 11-4 number. They're going to need miracle to win this series now.
Well, they got to get energized from the Compact Center on Thursday. Doc and I will be there for that one. On Ori. 0-of-7 shooting for Scottie Pippen tonight, and there's Elijah Wan. 2 guys bound for the Hall of Fame, and we are bound for Atlanta and inside the NBA with Bob Lawrence, Peter Bessie, and Terry Cummings immediately following this game. Many big stories tonight, but the performance of O'Neal and the Lakers will grab the headlines as they go to Houston up 2-0 on the Rockets. 28 points and 9 boards with a handful of assists for O'Neal tonight.
And you know what's disheartening for the Rockets? And sometimes it's called belief. They had no doubt. I mean, you could see it. They had no doubt coming into this series that they were going to win one of these 2 games here in L.A. And now they come back empty-handed to Houston.
Teron Lue is in the game, the rookie from Nebraska. Travis Knight is in the game. Inside to Ruben Patterson, a rookie from Cincinnati. Stuffed by Roberts. Outlet to Drew. Ahead it goes to Mack, who will work on Patterson. Get doubled by Lue. Trying to get it inside. 105-91 the Lakers. They've led by as many as 23. Overnight.
This is important minutes for Harrington because he was one of the key guys for the Rockets this year, especially when Barkley went out. They need his energy, but he's coming off the injury list, not 100%. So this is good for him to get game time.
Rice
still cooking.
He's got 14. But O'Neal was the story. Fisher was the story in the first quarter of this game. And the passing of the Lakers, again, absolutely phenomenal. Such a change in such a short time. Roberts the miss. Rebound brought down by Travis Knight. Houston never led, Doc, in this game.
This game was decided very early. And again, you're looking at all the points that the Lakers are putting up. But I can't tell you enough how great the defense was from the Lakers.
We have talked about series in this first round out east, Miami and New York. Knicks won by 20 the first night, Miami by 10 last night. They're tied at 1. And game 3 tomorrow night from the Garden. Knight feeding to Rooks and whacked inside with 1:14 to play. There are the 2 rookies. Mobley on the left, Dickerson on the right. Another good series that resumes tomorrow in Sacramento.
Shocking series. I mean,
Utah is tied with the Kings at 1 apiece.
Sacramento came out so loose. I mean, that's one of the teams that you enjoy watch play basketball, at least on the offensive end. If you're a defensive coach, you really don't like watching Sacramento. But boy, do they move the basketball. All 5 guys touch the ball. There's probably a couple behind the back passes during the game or doing each play.
Probably the best passing front line in the NBA, wouldn't you say?
Yeah,
Williamson, Divac, and Weber.
All good ball handlers, great passing. And, you know, I thought the key play of the game was the first play of the game, Weber knocking down Stockton.
Couple rookies going head-to-head. Lou from Nebraska and Drew from Valparaiso, and a foul called on Lou. And Doc, earlier in the game, you were talking about this shocking Atlanta 2-0 lead on Detroit.
And neither game has been close. And what's amazing, look at Grant Hill's numbers. So he's putting up numbers, and they're still getting blown out.
Right.
That's a problem.
Drew again. Rebound Harrington, who before he was injured was a 6th man of the year candidate, then got an infected foot they had to operate, and he was out about 2.5 weeks. But he brings energy.
It really does. And when you have an older veteran team, you need young guys to bring you energy. He was the key guy who did that. Now with him injured, they don't have it.
Harrington, you just saw the inside the NBA logo. Minnesota winning tonight in stunning fashion over San Antonio. And in overtime, Milwaukee forced Indiana, but the Pacers went on to win by a point.
See, game 2s, I've always believed, are the tough games. I thought San Antonio got caught a little off guard because they won game 1. I thought Indiana got caught off guard today also.
Exactly.
And really was fortunate. And you know what? Indiana deserves a break. They've lost more one-point games. It's about time they got a good break.
They had like 8 of them in 1 month, and they couldn't survive. Out of bounds. What about Phoenix, Doc, as you take a look at the Suns and Jason Kidd, has had a spectacular season trailing Grant Ryder and the rugged Blazers.
But you know what worries you if you're the Phoenix Suns? Danny Ainge, I thought, did a great job last night of coaching in the fact that he made Portland play his style of ball. The problem with that was Portland was better at his style of ball. They went small, and Portland extended the lead.
Drew right down the lane with the scoop.
Mike Dunleavy just is touching every right button. I mean, I think the job he's done with that many good players, you can't say enough about it.
One night it's Rice. Last night it was, Ryder. Last night it was Stoudemire. As Lou flies inside, and it's a luau.
I was waiting for that. Didn't think you were going to get it in.
Hey, didn't think he was going to get in. Bullard hits a 3. Final seconds. Lakers go up in this series 2-0. It was close game 1, but convincingly they trounced the Rockets 110-98, and they go back to Houston. And Shaq will take a 2-0 lead over Pippen and the Rockets. Pippen, invisible tonight, has not hit from the field in 46 playoff minutes. Let's go to Scott Hastings.
Thanks, Kevin. Shaquille, 28 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. Has the Lakers played better?
No, I think we're gelling together at the right time. You know, when Kirk got the job, we won 10 straight, and then I think we lost to Utah, and we tried to change it up a little bit. And, you know, during our little meeting, we just said that, you know, we got to use what we got to get what we want. Throw it inside, and we got a lot of people that demand the double team. See what the defense is going to do. And when they double, I just kick it out to my shooters. And, you know, my guys have been mixed up real nice. You know, they're shooting an open shot, they're going to the basket. And, you know, we're able to rest on offense, and, you know, that gives us a lot of energy on defense. And, you know, we're playing real good basketball right now.
What got the attitude of this team? How did this team change?
I mean, you know, like I said, after Kirk got the job, you know, we was playing like we were supposed to play. Then, you know, I think we lost to Utah, and, you know, we tried to, you know, switch things up. And, you know, when you got a dominant big man and a dominant upcoming player and a great shooter, you know, you got to use your weapons. And, you know, I demand a double team, so I'm going to get the ball, and when they double, I'm going to kick it out to my guys, you know, for the wide open shot. You know, we've been playing real good basketball right now.
Probably the biggest question Lakers fans have, how's the left knee, and what will you do rehab-wise over the next couple days?
You know, somebody asked me how's my health, and I'm still about 2 steps slow. You know, I had knee troubles when I first came here. I pulled my stomach muscle last year, but I'm going to just suck it up, and I'm just glad to be playing. I'm glad that my team is gelling at the right time.
Shaq, congratulations. Appreciate it. Let's go back over to